Okay? And those silly messages should disappear. Watch, one jumps up. All right. So we've got that going. Now, again, I'm in my global configuration, so in order to do a show command, I'm going to do a do show VLANs. And now notice I've got proper VLANs. I've got VLAN 10 sales, VLAN 20 accounting, which I'm getting from switch C. So I've got that information. All right. Let's also check do show spanning tree. And we can now see, the assignment. Okay. This just happens to be set up as the root, and the primary reason for that is that it has the lowest MAC address. So this switch, switch A, is the root bridge, even though switch C is the VTP database. So obviously, as you can see, they don't necessarily have to all be running on the same machine. You'll also see that we're not getting any messages anymore. So we're in good shape. Now, I did see one thing where my my F010 is assigned to sales, but my F020 is not assigned to accounting. So I need to assign that. And before I do anything else, I'm going to show the running configuration file. And notice how 10 has been set to an access mode, which is exactly what I want. Now I want to do the same thing to 20. Right now, 20 is not set whatsoever. We need to set it to access mode. So we're going to do that. Int F020. And then we're going to say switch port mode access. And we're going to say exit. Now I can do a do show VLAN. And now, oh, stupid. Int F0. What did I forget, gang? Do you know?
The don't shut down thing?
No, I didn't forget that. Okay. Notice how 10 is set to switch port access VLAN 10, and now 20 is set to switch port access VLAN 20. Okay? So now if I do a do show VLAN, you can see that 10 belongs to 10, 20 belongs to 20.
All right.
Okay? Everybody good?
I think so.
Jared, how are you feeling?
A lot better.
Okay.
One thing that was driving me crazy last night was those little messages that kept coming up every 30 seconds.
One of the things that really can get you frustrated really well is those messages popping up. That can be a real pain. But the other thing is you start jumping around. And if you come at this in a logical fashion, it's just a lot easier to control in your head. Okay? There's a lot going on. There's a lot wrong with these, and you just got to take it one step at a time. All right, so now I'm going to switch over to switch B. And let's take a look again at our show BTP status. That all looks good, okay? Show VLAN. And we see that these things are switched, okay? We see that F20 is associated with VLAN 10. and F10 is associated with VLAN 20. So we need to fix that.
You need to switch them.
So configure T int F010, and we need to basically
FTP,
switch port access VLAN 10. Okay, int F020.
Switch access VLAN 20. That's it, to just switch them around.
Yep.
And you're going to show this, and it should show that 10s with 10 and 20s with 20.
There you go.
Yep. And that was do show when you were in config T?
Yes. Whenever you're outside of the enable mode, okay, or the privileged mode, you have to use do.
Okay.
In order to be able to execute a privileged mode command in another mode.
Oh, okay. I'm following you.
Okay?
Yep.
All right. Now, let me just check out my ports on switch C. And they all look good. Now, there's one thing I do want to do, and that is I think it's 01. Yeah, 01.
What's the A in FA?
Fast.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So it's not necessary you type that in. It's just...
Yeah, you don't have to type in FA. F is enough.
Okay.
I want to make F01 a trunk port, okay, which means it's going to turn on what's called encapsulation and tagging, okay? All right. Now, let's correct some of these PCs. So I think these two are okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's not okay. That's good. That is 20.3. That's good.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yes.
When going back to the switch, when you were in config T mode or privilege, that's privilege mode, correct? It was mode access, and then to change the 10s to 10s and 20s to 20s. I was just that command line syntax that you wrote there. It got away from me.
It is switch port.
Mode access. That's what it was?
No, switch to assign it to a VLAN.
Yeah.
Switch port, access, VLAN, VLAN number.
Okay, that's what. Okay, thank you.
Yep. 10.4, 10.4, yeah, that one has to change. Okay, so at this point, we should now be able to communicate between devices on the same VLAN. So if I go into 10, go to desktop, prompt, ping, 192.168, 10.3.
Nice.
10.4. Now, am I going to be able to do this?
Should.
Careful.
No, different subnet.
It's a different subnet, different VLAN. The .20 is on VLAN 20.
Right.
We don't have inter VLAN communications yet, gang. What? That shouldn't have happened.
One got through.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Let me check. I didn't even look at this router yet. Maybe it is configured. Hold on. Oh, it's already configured. Ah, but there are some problems with it. There are some problems. It is configured. Okay. What do we call this right here? What is this connection between the router and the switch? What do we call that?
Router on a stick.
Router on a stick, which means we have multiple VLANs coming into a single physical port. Therefore, we must use sub-interfaces in order to configure it. Now, one of the problems that we have here is that I can't, communicate. Probably, well, I can't communicate with VLAN 1 properly because this 192.168.1.1 has to be tagged to VLAN 1. And generally, you do not put, I shouldn't say generally, you simply do not put an IP address on the physical interface itself. When you start using sub-interfaces, you only assign the IP addresses to the sub-interfaces. So we need to fix this. All right, so we're going to go in and we're going to say, first, no IP address. Okay? Next, we're going to go in and we're going to say int f00.1 encapsulation .1q 1. Then we assign the IP address okay. Much better.
No IP address.
Much better. Okay. So, gang, that's it. That's your lab.
Gotcha.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah, Todd.
Can you go back over switch A? I
Yeah.
was trying to do packet tracer, and I kind of missed half of it.
Okay. Here we are at switch A. Let's get back to privilege mode.
That was so much more easier than I made it out to be last night.
I'm sorry?
You made it seem so much easier than it seemed that I thought it was last night. 'Cause last night it was driving me crazy because I couldn't shut those messages off.
Well, I kind of knew that this lab was going to drive everybody pretty much nuts. Okay? But I wanted you to go out there and I wanted you to give it a try and see how you did. And then we would go over it again, which is what we're doing right now. Okay, what's going on here?
Hey,
Let's
if you
try.
could just scroll back up to what you've already done.
You mean do the show VLAN and so on?
Yeah, just real quick, because I was trying to follow it on the packet tracer, then I got behind, and then I started to write it down, and then I got lost.
Here it comes.
Okay,
Thank you.
great. Thanks, Jim.
All right. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say File, Save As. Answer.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay, here comes the packet tracer fixed. So what I want you to do, okay, what you might do, one of the things you might consider is just going in and looking at the answer file and typing out or printing out all of the running configuration files. Okay. And then go back, and I want you to try it again. You know, try doing the lab from scratch, and then when you get stuck, go ahead and refer back to, you know, to the answer and see where you went off the tracks.
Jim, can you bring up the packet tracer again?
Sure. What would you like to look at?
How come there's
I'll
the
do you
connection
one
between
better.
A and B and B and C is still...
Okay, go ahead. Say again.
So there's last two connections. Why is still blinking orange? They haven't turned green yet.
No, they should stay orange. They should stay orange. Okay?
The looping.
You know, last night when I was trying to do that, I was trying to get them green. I got them green for 1 second, and then I switched something up, and they went back to orange and orange.
Let's take a look at switch B, okay? And what we want to look at is, what do I want to... Yeah, that's what I want. Show spanning tree. Show span. And look at the bottom here, okay? Now, the one that's orange is F02. Look how it's designated. Okay? It's designated as an alternate. Right. Now, this is designated, F01 is designated as a root. Okay? And F011...
That's just a backup line?
Right.
It's just a backup?
No. F01, that is a root port. Do you recall what a root port is? It is connected to and it is active to the root port or to the root bridge. What is the root bridge here? A, B, or C?
A.
A is the root bridge. So this green light over here is a root port to the root bridge. This orange light, this port, is a designated, or I'm sorry, not a designated, it is an alternate to the root port leading to the root bridge. If this connection up above goes down, then this connection with the green and orange becomes now the root path. Make sense? Yes, no?
Yes. They
Yes,
can
okay.
talk back and forth to one another, right? Switch
Say again?
Switch A can talk back and forth. If that root line goes down, they can still have conversations with switch B and C, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Okay? Hey, let's do that. Let's break it.
Yeah, just click on it. I've done it tough.
Watch what happens when I break it. Give it a second. I don't want C. I want B. It says it's down. Let's see what it starts doing. It's in a learning mode. Do you see it? It's learning.
Yeah.
Still learning. This is why it takes a while. And now it's up. Now it's up.
Yeah.
It is now, F02 is now the root. Let's put the connection back in. Now let's see what it does. Notice on switch B, everything is still down. Let's take a look and see what it's doing. Okay. It's going back.
It's learning. That was privilege mode, show span, right?
Mm-hmm. And you'll notice that number 2 is now in a blocking mode, and number 1 is in a learning mode, or a listening mode. Listening mode. Okay, and it's up and running. And number 1 is back in a root mode, and it is forwarding. If you recall, ports, when they're in a trunk, they go through several stages. They go through blocking. They don't allow anything out until they figure out what's going on. Then they go to a listening. They're just listening to updates coming in, and they're trying to make sense of how things are connected. Then they start doing a learning where they not only are making sense of things, but they're starting to record MAC addresses into their MAC table. And then the final stage is they go into forwarding, where they've now figured out what's what, who's the root port, who's designated, and so on. And now they start forwarding packets.
Great.
So we just saw that with that little exercise there.
Awesome. And this is recorded, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome.
So Todd, I promised I was going to basically process the other video. I'll process this video. I think it's a lot more useful for everyone. Again,
Yeah.
gang, these videos actually take a couple of hours. I really need to get a new laptop because it's just getting really slow with some of the big videos we're putting together anymore. I mean, it was fine when we were doing like 10 and 15-minute videos, but you know, we're now going on 2 hours. So.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Bowe. I appreciate that tonight.
All right, no problem. Anybody else have a question? Ankit, you were saying something. I have to go for some reason. Let me see. I didn't get all that. Okay, sounds like Ankit's got to leave us at this point. Okay, good. Anybody else have any questions? George, Bobby?
So that's about where everybody should be up to speed with subnetting and block addressing, and from there, that's when we get into this lab homework and configuring switches and routers, right? Pretty much.
Yes.
Okay.
But don't hesitate to ask questions, because I got to tell you, everybody's still. I wouldn't say everyone's 100% comfortable with subnetting and wildcards.
Right.
Okay. You know, because of the math and so on, you know, it takes people a while. Hey, George, thank you again for that that coupon. My son had this huge coffee the other day. He gave me a coupon